This is a simple website that I just created using Perplexity AI. Now, that sounds surprising because Perplexity is not the kind of tool that you can use for coding or creating a website. But in theory, it is possible. It's not going to be as good as when you're using something like GitHub Copilot or Cursor AI, where the coding and the AI is basically mashed together. So you can prompt the AI and it will generate the application or the website for you. But on Perplexity, it's a lot more limited, but still it is possible to create at least a simple website using just Perplexity AI. So in this video, I'm going to show you on how you can create a website just like this one using only Perplexity AI. And I will show you how you can publish the website to the internet. So anybody, your friends, your family can visit your website that you just created using Perplexity AI. So let's get into it. First, before we start, make sure you're using the pro version of Perplexity. Technically, you can use the free version, but the reason why I recommend using the pro version is because for if you want to get the best code, then I highly recommend using Cloud 3.7 Sonnet model. And to get that, you have to be on the pro subscription. But even that, you still have to make sure that you're using that model. So first, go to the settings page, and you want to make sure that you're using Cloud 3.7 Sonnet. On the Perplexity Pro section, you'll see that the AI model I'm using is Cloud 3.7 Sonnet. Make sure you're selecting that model. And after that, let's go back to the home page. And now we have to start prompting the AI model. I'm going to just copy and paste the prompt that I have prepared. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain why I'm using this prompt and how you can modify this for your own website. Okay, this is the first section of the prompt. I want to create a bio-link style website for my YouTube channel. And it mostly talks about tutorials of some popular AI tools. So this is where you can describe what the website is going to look like, what style that you want to get. And in this case, I want to create some sort of bio link or link tree website, which I believe very popular on the internet. And also I'm going to add another section on this prompt. Okay, the next section is this. The following is how you should be building the website. Strictly only use HTML and Tailwind CSS. You don't have to worry too much about the technicality, the jargon here. If you're not a coder, then just follow using my prompt. And if JavaScript is needed, use vanilla JavaScript. This is just a way to make sure that I'm using the code is going to be very efficient. It's not going to be dependent on some sort of external framework or dependencies, which will make the code longer, more complicated, and not to mention impossible to create with just Perplexity AI. So this is just some technical limitation that I have to describe. So it is possible to get the code from Perplexity. And then this is also the same thing. If there's any framework or library, then use only CDN. This is allowing us to use some features. Let's say if you want to create a website and you want to have a specific feature, but the feature is you cannot put the feature directly into the code. So we want to use CDN. CDN is like borrowing the feature. It's like just putting the link into the code, and then when someone visits the website, that feature will be on the website, even though it doesn't exist in the code. But because we put the link, we can borrow the feature from somewhere, from other website, from other server on the internet. Okay, don't worry too much about that. And then ideally everything is in one file. So if the code is not too long, it is possible to combine all the code like HTML, CSS, and then JavaScript into one file. This will make it a lot easier to deploy the website later. And then the website must be responsive and fast. Of course, we want to make sure that everyone can visit the website, no matter the internet speed, no matter the device they're using. And then follow the best coding practice. The code must be short and efficient. The design is simple and moderate, and then add some interactive animations. Now that's the main section of the prompt, but there is another thing that I'm going to add, which is very important for the follow-up question. Okay, this is the last section of the prompt. Please provide the code, the full code that I can copy and paste. If I ask to revise the code later, then you must respond with a full code. So the first draft is not going to be perfect, and a lot of times you probably have to change a things or two. And that's why when you are asking something to AI to change the coding, it has to respond with the full code. So you don't have to manually copy and then paste a tiny section of the code that you have to change manually. And it's going to make things a lot easier if it can provide the full code. Okay, now this is the full prompt. You don't have to worry about that because I'm going to put the prompt in the video comment or video description, so you can scroll down and check this prompt. And that's basically it. That's the entire prompt. You can modify it, but this is the bare minimum that you can put into the prompting. And then you can select either auto or pro search. I'm going to be using pro search so you can access some internet and maybe use some new coding practice. And yeah, I do recommend to not use deep search or reasoning. It's really overkill and not necessary. So again, this part is either auto or pro search. And then let's send the prompt and wait for AI in Perplexity to generate the code for the website. This is gonna be very interesting. Okay, it's reading a lot of websites, a lot of resources from some developer website, and hopefully it is taking some good inspiration so it can be implemented into the website. Okay, this is the code. I can tell that it is shorter. It is using some CDN. Perhaps not the best practice, but yeah, it is something that we can deploy to the internet. If you're not a developer, I think this code means nothing. There is no information that can be learned from this. Don't worry about that because I think these days AI can do a lot of things. It can even code better than most developers. So yeah, don't worry, as long as you can communicate with AI about what are the things that you want to create, what are the things that you want to change, AI will do the coding for you. Okay, I think the code is almost finished. By the way, I forgot to mention that in some cases where the code is very long, there is a good chance that the code is not finished. Okay, I think we just got this example. So basically, since we are creating a website, make sure the end of the code is HTML. There is going to be an HTML tag, but this is not finished. So this is really a problem with prompting in Perplexity because sometimes the response is not final. I think this is the problem that is much more relevant in Cloud 3.7 Sonnet because I checked other models don't have the same behavior. So this is an example of a code that is not finished. And yeah, this is something that we have to deal with. So one way to have to work around with this problem is to make the code shorter. Okay, the code must be short. I think I need to modify the prompting a bit. Let's change this. The design is very simple and modern. I guess I'm going to remove that. Very simple. The code must be short and efficient. And maybe add minimal interactive animations. Don't worry about the prompting that I changed. I'm going to put this in the video comment or description. Okay, so I hope with that changes, the code that it will generate will be shorter. It's going to be within the limit of the output that is possible in Perplexity AI. And if you're not sure about the prompting and you still want to get a full code without changing the prompt, then you can use a different AI model like GPT-4o because I think it doesn't have the same limitation as Cloud 3.7 Sonnet. Anyway, this is going to take another minute or two, so I'm going to fast forward until we get the full code, and then later I'm going to show you how you can preview the website and then deploy the website to the internet. Okay, so the code has been produced and I can confirm that this is the full code because at the end there is this HTML tag. That means this is the end of the code. And yeah, we got the full code, so we can copy this and then preview the website. I'm going to copy this code and you can navigate to this tool called htmledit.squarefree.com, or you can also just go to Google and search for render HTML online. You should be finding that tool right here, htmledit.squarefree.com. and I just want to preview the website using this tool. Let me remove this, and I'm going to right click, paste, and there you go. So that was the tool. Okay, there was something weird on that, but yeah, basically we got this website. We got the look of the website. There are a few elements, like there are some buttons, there are some social media icons, and then there's also this weird typing animation. I guess if I'm asking to remove the typing animation, that's the problem would go away. So let's go back to Perplexity again, because I want to make some changes. First, I want it to please remove the typing animation, and then I'm going to add another revision. Right now you can see that the profile picture is just some text, but I want to use a profile picture that I have from my YouTube channel. So this is the link of the profile picture from my YouTube channel. Okay, cool. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to ask it to provide a, sorry, not provide, I'm going to ask it to assign the following link as the profile picture of the website. This is the link, this is the code. There is no rule about how you should address, how you should prompt AI when it comes to changing anything. It's totally up to you. As long as it is responding the full code, then you are good to go. Now let me send this message, and I essentially asking two things: to remove the typing animation, and also adding this profile picture as this profile picture for the website. As you can see, it is giving me the code. It's going to provide the full code, and hopefully it's addressing the problem and doesn't change anything that I didn't ask for. Okay, it's still generating the code. Well, I'm really hoping that in the future, maybe Perplexity will add some sort of canvas that, you know, I think in some AI like cloud.ai, you can actually ask it to generate code, and there's going to be some preview window on the right side to see the full version, the rendered version of the code. That's going to be very interesting if we can get something like that on Perplexity AI. But right now, that's not the main focus. So we have to code this way. I'm going to copy this code again, and let's do the testing. I'm going to delete this, right click, paste, and there you go. So there is no more some weird typing animation. There is going to be no there's going to be this profile picture based on my YouTube channel. You can actually change other things, like you can change the color, the text, and in this case I could in theory add some social media links into this page, but you know, this is just for an example. But basically we can confirm that the code is working. Now it is time to put this code to the internet. Let me copy this, and you have to go to a website called TinyHost. So this is a website that I do recommend for deploying the website. There are actually other options, like you can use Amazon if you are very serious, but you know, for a simple website that's very overkill. But just use this website TinyHost to host your website. You can create an account, and then you can upload your website to the internet. Now I'm going to remove this. This actually, I think it is only possible to get one website on free account, so I'm going to delete this. By the way, if you know the technical know-how, you can upload the website to GitHub or maybe Vercel if you know how to do it. But for everybody else, then I do recommend just using this website TinyHost. Now, how do you actually get the code to this website? Well, first you have to open something on your computer. Now I have this this folder on my computer. What you need to do is you have to right click and then create a new text document. Then I'm going to call this one my website.txt. So you can see that the format here is txt because it's a text document. I'm going to open it. And I'm going to paste the code that Perplexity has generated for me. Click File, click Save, and then close this. And then go to the View menu and enable file name extension. This is very important because we cannot upload the file. We can upload txt file. We have to upload the .html file. So we have to change the format from txt to HTML. Make sure to enable file name extensions to change the format from txt to HTML. Okay, now let's right click on this file, rename, and then let's call this one .html. I'm going to magnify it a bit so you can see it. My website .html, and hit enter. Hit enter again to confirm that we just changed the name. Sorry, we just changed the format. And now this is the fun part. So we can just drag and drop the file into TinyHost. And okay, there's this link name. I'm going to call this one AsapGuide. And yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing else that we have to do. By the way, you can set up a custom domain, but you have to pay for it. This is not something that TinyHost is asking you to pay. This is completely optional, but everywhere else on the internet, if you want to get your own domain name, you have to pay. So it's just something that you have to do. Now let's click publish and just wait until it is working, finishing deploying the website. Well, it's very quick. You can see the website is live. I can visit this. And there you go. Okay, there's this message is coming from TinyHost, but don't worry, your visitors is not going to be able to see this. So yeah, we just created a website using Perplexity AI. Isn't that amazing? So yeah, that's basically it. If you find this video to be useful, then please consider subscribing to this channel because I'm going to make a lot more videos about AI, and hopefully this video will be very helpful. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.